So we have our list of items, right? And every time we click on them, we have the recipe right there. So that worked fine. We created a custom adapter for this. And what we're going to do now is we're going to go one step beyond this. I want to display in one item, I want to display both the actual name of the dish and then part of the recipe or the full recipe, just to create something custom. Now, remember how earlier we used another adapter, we used a pre-made list item for Android, right? Well, the truth is that there are a lot of pre-made item layouts, the way the cells should look like in Android, and there's one that would be a big text and a small text. All those things exist. However, for the purpose of this tutorial, I want to create my own, because down the line I will want to create my own layout with, I don't know, checkboxes or images or something else. So I will want each cell to have a lot more, and I'm just going to show you how to do that. So the first thing that we need to do is to actually create a new layout. So we're going to go to the layout folder, right click and say new, and then pick a layout resource. So I'm going to go there, new layout resource file. I'm going to call it recipe item because that's what it's going to do. I don't do anything else, just click OK. Now, it's starting to render this. It looks like a phone, it doesn't look like a list item. But trust me, whatever you put in here in this little screen is what's going to go in, it's what's going to show up as one cell. So what we're going to do is the following. We're going to put a large text, for example, here. A large text right here. And, or actually, all the way to the left. All the way to the left, and then we're going to put a small text right underneath it. Okay, so a small text. It doesn't look like a cell, but it's going to have a large text and a small text. And then the way this is going to go, I'm going to look here in the text. I'm going to rename this text. So this one here is going to be a recipe name, for example, and this one here, it's going to be a recipe description. Okay, so I have a small layout with two text views that it's a linear layout, vertical layout, so one thing after the other. So I'm going to have the text and another text view to contain like descriptions. Okay, this one is small, this one is large. Regular XML file. Now, how do I use that here? Do you guys remember in the data source, I had, in the recipe adapter, I had put a layout, a default Android layout. Well, I'm going to use my layout now. That I access with r.layout, and then recipe item. That's the layout that I just created. Now, if this is the layout that I just created, then this getView method has to change a bit. Okay, so the getView method has to change. First, my first text view, it's not called this. It's actually called r.id.recipe name. That's what I call the first text view, right? And I'm going to set the recipe name. Then I'm going to instantiate another text view called T2, which is going to be a text view self find view by ID, RID, and then recipe desk. That was the name of the other text view. And then I'm going to set the text of this. I'm going to set the text of this to the recipe data source, get description at position I. Okay, and then I will return the cell. So just to recap, all I did here was, all I did was to change the layout that I was using, and then when I create the view, when I create the look and feel of the cell, I just adapt to what that layout was. okay, my new layout, and I created my new layout in the XML files here, okay, in this XML file. So we're running it, and notice I didn't change anything else. Everything else is the same. I have my data source, my recipe adapter that I pass these things, and then everything else should work exactly the same. When I tap on it, I should get the description of that recipe. So let's look at what this is coming out to be. Now here's my list view. Of course, it's aligned to the left because that's how I put it, right? And I have a big text with the title and a small text with the recipe. And if I tap on any of these, I will get a message here, a toast, with the recipe, which is what I had before. So now you can create your own custom cell's look and feel using an XML file, and using a custom adapter, you can actually get from your data source whatever it is that you need to populate this. In the next video, we're going to see one way of populating images. So we're going to put like a little image here on the side.